It's time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show live on WBON TV and on radio at WEKY, WKXO, and WIRV. Support your favorite team with apparel from Campus Warehouse and join us here on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Also brought to you by Bishop Small Engine Repair and Nuevo Vallarta. And now let's go live to your hosts, Michael Watkins and Samantha Burford. Good evening, everyone, and welcome into the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Michael Watkins here with you on a Monday night. And as we get ready for Christmas, you know, it's been a very strange time to be a sports fan here in Madison County. You look back, of course, last week, Madison Southern having to drop out of the postseason because of a positive COVID case within the team. We're going to hear from Jon Clark and get that full interview from last week and just hear about kind of what went on in the situation there. But, you know, it's a very sad week for the Clark family. Jon and Erica, his wife, their kids, they lost a member of their family this week. Erica's mom, who Coach Clark talks about in the interview, she lost her battle with cancer over the weekend. So remember that family in your thoughts and prayers. A very sad time, holiday season being here, and to lose a family member, you know, for whatever the reason may be. Right now we see people, you know, dying of the COVID-19. You know, obviously cancer is a very bad disease as well. So again, remember Jon and Erica Clark and that family in your thoughts and prayers right now as they deal with the loss of a loved one. And Erica's mother, who has been battling cancer, I think, since the pandemic started. And we'll hear again from Coach Clark, who talks about her and everything that's been going on. But, you know, you look at how things shaped up for Madison Southern. We touched on it a little bit last week, Samantha and I did, as we, you know, kind of ended the show, but we really didn't get a chance to dive into it. And what a sad situation for this team to kind of not go out and leave it all out on the field. But in a way they did. When you look at the season that Madison Southern had, the way it started, you know, obviously quarantined and not being able to really get out there and hit and tackle. And Coach Clark again talks about that, where in that very first game of the year, they hadn't even tackled to the ground yet. They had not even hit each other really and made tackles on each other in practice. So they got out there and against Pulaski County in that first game played very, very well. I mean, you look at what they were able to do against a pretty good Pulaski County team, and their defense shut them down. If it wasn't for a couple of defensive touchdowns by Pulaski County, Southern wins that opening game. But then in their second game of the year, they go on the road to Collins. And again, you know, your starting quarterback is out because of a concussion protocol. You've got, you know, a lot of players that were injured in that opening week because, again, they didn't have time to really get ready for the season because of the COVID-19 stuff. So you have to credit Jon Clark and his staff for what they did this season. And I think, and I said it, I think the lasting image of this team will be them celebrating the Jay Sturrison field goal. And what a celebration it was as they became district champs for the back-to-back years, 3 out of the last 4. And you again just have to look at the job that Jon Clark has done with the Madison Southern football program. I don't think he gets enough credits, not only, you know, here locally, but statewide. I mean, this guy has taken a program that never really got a lot of publicity. And you look, we've got players that are playing in the NFL. I'm a huge New England Patriots fan. Damian Harris is playing for New England. He's a Madison Southern Eagle. You look at what Carter Smith and Nate Eads and Aaron Sloan and guys like that, Landon Stacy, they have had so many very good football players come through the program. Tobias Storm comes to mind more recently. And these guys, what they have done is they have learned how to be not only a football player, but to be a young man. And I think that's one thing that gets taken for granted, you know, not only in coaching, but just in life in general, is what kind of impact you have on people. And Jon Clark is a guy that's, you know, he takes being healthy very serious. He takes, you know, being a good man very serious. And I think what he has done with that program has just not been given the credit that it deserves. And I appreciate Jon Clark for always taking the time out of his day to talk to myself, to talk to Samantha, to Don, whatever it is. And he wants his kids to get the publicity that they deserve. And they've got a guy over there that next year has got potential to be Mr. Football in the state of Kentucky. Walter Smith is that kind of player. But again, he's at Madison Southern. He's not going to get the credit that he deserves. Jon Clark knows that. He's talked about it. But Cole Carpenter, the quarterback, this is a kid that the progression, if it continues, he's got a chance to play at some big schools on Saturday, the same as Walter Smith. So I think it just goes back again to what Jon Clark has done at Madison Southern. And as we get ready to hear about, the situation that led to them having to withdraw from the postseason, again, I want to just look back on the amazing year that they had and just appreciate what Madison Southern did and what has been such a crazy 2020 season. Let's look back at that, and then let's hear from Jon Clark, the head coach of the Eagles, as to what happened and why they had to withdraw from the postseason. And again, as we go and hear from Coach Clark, keep his family in your thoughts and prayers as they lost Coach Clark's mother-in-law, his wife Erica's mom, and the family. And listen, it's a tough time for everybody. It's been a tough year, but just another reason to kind of want to get past what 2020 has been and move on with their lives. But continue to remember Erica and Jon Clark and that family in your prayers with the loss of a loved one during the holiday season.
My wife's mother, my mother-in-law, has been battling stage 4 cancer throughout this season. And, we've been very, very careful about who we're around, wearing masks. Our biggest fear was getting them sick. And that's something that we've, as a family, been really adamant about not doing for the last 2 months, because she was in a position that she's so susceptible to something like that right now anyway. So we were absolutely floored to hear that information. And then, within a matter of minutes, her and her brother getting kicked out of the hospital.
So you had tests over the weekend and got the news that your household had tested positive as well.
Absolutely. So we obviously get tested and find out that it's in our house as well. And that's when, we call, I call the school and talk to Mr. Ray and our principal and let him know, hey, this is where we are. And that's when the decision's made that, obviously there's protocol that has to be followed from the health department and the CDC guidelines in the health department. And with positive tests on your sideline on a Friday night that come about, the whole team ends up being quarantined, which we've known. So we really knew in October, one positive test from this point on with anybody in this team or coaching staff is going to shut our team down. Administration, we all had that conversation. There was no way that wasn't going to happen. And it's happened to multiple teams already across the state. And it happened to be from us here this weekend.
Another side of this is what happened yesterday. You have to fill out some kind of form and send it in to KHSAA. And before you could even talk to your team, the KHSAA already puts it out on Twitter via that form.
Yeah, I got to tell you, dealing with all this on the weekend, listen, there's people that are dealing with way worse things. I'm not, we're blessed. We're lucky that my house is healthy. We've got some mild symptoms going on here. But the way it all transpired from the time that I talked to my administration, I'm telling you, we get our results back around 2:30. I'm on the phone with my principal, and I have a meeting with my team set up at 4:00. And we make the decision that, through our administration, that the school's going to wait to release information. The district's going to wait to release it until I have a chance to meet with my players and my players' parents. And rightfully so, okay? So the KHSA requires you to fill out a form to state that you're withdrawing from the playoffs because of a positive test, and your team has to be quarantined. It's a Google form that our athletic director fills out. The minute he submits it unknowingly, it automatically puts the information on the KHSAA Twitter page, which is an unbelievable move by them to do that. And before that, my athletic director had called the KHSAA on several times, Nobody answers. Nobody calls back. So here we are doing what we think to be right, is to notify the KHSA, assuming somebody's going to call you, verify who's sending in this information, ask some questions. To this hour, we still have had no response from the KHSA, but it went through on their website the minute we sent the form in, with no verification of who's even sending the form in. I'm still talking to my principal. I'm still talking to a coach of mine, trying to tell my coaches individually what's going on, and it's all over the news and everything before I even have a chance to make 2 phone calls to my own staff.
So when you finally got a chance to talk to your team, kind of just give us an update on how that went.
Well, we had a Zoom at 4:00. We were on there for about 40 minutes. It was hard. It was one of the hardest conversations I've ever had with my team. Listen, our kids are amazing. They understood. Our kids were, one of our kids says a prayer for our team and for my family. I couldn't be more proud of the way our kids handled it. Everybody's known this was a possibility for this entire time. And I think everybody feels fortunate that we've played as many games as we did. A lot of teams weren't that lucky.
I think the lasting image of this season and this team for you guys is just how Friday night ended. I know it's not going to end the way that you wanted it to, but when you look back on this season, I feel like a lot of positives came from it, even though it was such a crazy year for everybody. Madison Southern made the most of it, and you're going to walk off the field district champions, and that'll be, I think, the lasting image of the 2020 team.
No, I think you're right, and I'm extremely proud of our kids and our staff. We got better and better every week. When we played our first game against Pulaski County, we hadn't even tackled to the ground yet. And looking at how far we came from that to where we were going into this week, I felt like we were an entirely different football team. And our kids never quit this year. They never bowed out. They did all the things that were asked of them. I hate to see it end the way it is, but at the same time, we were fortunate to get the chance to do what we did. We told that to our kids in the meeting last night. Like, not many teams walk off the field on their own terms as winners. And in a sense, they kind of did that. Now, no, we're not going out because we chose to. This is something that we can't control, though. And looking at that game, you couldn't really have left a game on a better note than what they did last Friday night. And I think that's something definitely that really shows the character of our football team.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Jennifer, and in the spring of 1992, Bishop Small Engine Repair was born in our mom and dad's barn in Estill County.
Then in the fall of 1992, we made the move to Madison County, where we are today. With the support of our family, customers, and community, we have continued to grow in the outdoor power industry. With a full line of products from Kokudet, Grasshopper, Echo, and Shindawa, we can help you tackle your yard so you can enjoy it with your family. Bishop Small Engine Repair, where our focus is our customer. Stop on in, 119 North Estill Avenue in Richmond. We can't wait to see ya.
Still lots of room, just more to view. Still the big move, just more moving. Still singing, just more in tune. Still hard to find a spot, just easier to park. Still the gang's all here, just less are we there yet. The Chevy family of SUVs, making life's journey just better.
Get the money you need now. Apply for a home equity line of credit at Cumberland Valley National Bank today with no payments for 6 months and low rates. There's never been a better time to tap into your home's equity.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best margaritas and fajitas in town. Doesn't a huge 32-ounce ice-cold beer sound great? Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Get the money you need now. Apply for a home equity line of credit at Cumberland Valley National Bank today with no payments for 6 months and low rates. There's never been a better time to tap into your home's equity.
Campus Warehouse is fresh out of quarantine and has everything you need to get back in the game. Now more than ever, it's important to show support for your favorite team. And Campus Warehouse has stylish Eastern Kentucky merchandise or something for the Kentucky fan in your life. As we continue to fight the coronavirus pandemic, Campus Warehouse also has the clothes you need to show you're a part of Team Kentucky. Like them on Facebook or stop in and see for yourself at Campus Warehouse, 2139 Lantern Ridge Drive, next to Buffalo Wild Wings in Richmond.
So last week, we were celebrating the win for Madison Southern over Woodford County, but we also began our basketball previews. Today, we're going to hear from the head coaches at Model. We'll hear from Jon Morgerson, the head boys coach, and entering his second year. Candace Wells entering her 6th season as the head coach at Model. Last week, we heard from Josh Curtis, the new head coach over at Madison Southern on the girls' side, and Austin Newton, the boys' head coach at Madison Southern. And normally we're already playing basketball. But I just wish basketball was here. It's a good time to transition from one sport to the other. And obviously right now we don't have that kind of a lag between football and basketball season. But it does give us some time, I believe, to kind of appreciate what we do have. We're going to be doing some player previews over the next month as well as we get ready for that opening week and beginning on January the 4th. But I wanted to kind of just jump on here real quick and talk about what Model has done over the last couple of years as well. The basketball program on the boys has had a lot of really good players. We've seen the Fees kid go on to play college basketball, Otieno, Chin, guys that have had really good high school careers. And when I first started calling some Model games a few years ago, you have to appreciate that gym. The size of the gym at Model, we know it's a small, compact gym, and whenever you're having the COVID times, having fans in a small, compact gym is going to be even more difficult. But Jon Morgerson has done a really good job with this team. Last year, they had a couple of good players, Bryson Perry and Cruz, that got a lot of the publicity over there. Cruz is no longer with the team, but he graduated. But Bryson Perry transferred away. He came back. We'll talk to Coach Morgerson about that. And you've got Ethan Bailey returning. Nate Fees is here. So these kids have got a chance to do something special, kind of build toward a good year. We know how difficult this district is. Madison Central has got aspirations of not only a regional championship, but potentially a deep run in the state tournament. Berea returns a lot of the good players that they had from last year, even though they have to replace their head coach, Eric Swords, who went back to his alma mater. Madison Southern, kind of a rebuilding year for them, but Austin Newton's got some tricks up his sleeve, and they've got one of the top 10 players in the region in Nate Turner. So it's a very tough district. We'll talk to Jon Morgerson about that and so much more here in just a moment. We also hear from Candace Wells, the head girls coach at Model. We'll have the interview with Coach Morgerson, take a commercial break, and then we'll come back and hear from Coach Wells entering her 6th season. And her team has got a chance to really do something this year. They return a couple of really good players. You look at the point guard Tuttle. You got Keaton, who returns, a very good athlete. They have got a chance to, if they can get through the season and kind of get a little bit better. I mean, from hearing from what Coach Wells says, her team has gotten a lot better during this offseason and this extended time to kind of work on your game. So we'll hear from her here in just a few moments as well. But Model, the girls and boys team, it's now time for our second basketball preview with Jon Morgerson of Model and Candace Wells of Model. We'll start with the boys coach and Jon Morgerson. Here with Jon Morgerson, the head coach of the Model Patriots. And, Coach, it seems like it's been a while since you and I talked. You were very busy back when the pandemic first began. Just kind of talk about what it's been like being the head coach of a basketball team when you can't play basketball.
Yeah, it was good to finally get in the gym for a couple weeks with the guys. But, now we're back in the shutdown mode. I had a Zoom with them the other day on Monday, and we kind of caught up a little bit. We had to make up their own starting lineup for the NBA, kind of engage them a little bit, just to have something fun to check in because, physically, I want them to be in the gym, but, mentally it's important to check on them too, just to make sure they're doing all right. And it's tough for them, just like it's tough for me. We're used to playing basketball this time of year, and it's hard not to have it right now. When you look behind you here on the screen, you can see the new floor that you guys have had put in. You got new scoreboards that you got put in, and you got to have sponsors that help you do all that stuff. And you've had a lot of support during the pandemic, especially when you're putting all this new stuff up. Yeah, I really appreciate Scotty Sutton. He made getting the floor refinished a priority, and they were able to get that done right around fall break. And we were hoping it would be ready just in time for basketball, and then we had to pause a little bit. And then we were able to go out and get some sponsors that we really appreciated. I think you'll remember back to that Berea game last year, the scoreboard issues we had. I think those scoreboards were from the 70s or something. Oh, and, wow. It was important that we brought in something new. We got the LED lights in there. And so we had White Greer and Maggard stepped up, gave us some money. Michael Wang, he's a local realtor, a guy who's helped me buy and sell houses. James Motor Company, a Mercedes dealership. And then John Parkhurst of State Farm. So we had a combination of those 4 sponsors really came through for us. I know a lot of people are going through some tough times right now, and we really appreciated that they were able to make a donation to us and help support our program. Well, you got some good news. Bryson Perry, who transferred away during the summer, has decided to come back. That's a big deal for you guys. He's one of the top players, not only in the 11th region, but especially here in the district. Talk about what he means to your team. Yeah, I remember the night he called me and told me he was leaving. I just tried to support him, and but I knew we were going to miss him. That was a big loss for us. And then, I think he just got up there, and although he was getting to play basketball, I think it just wasn't the right fit for him. So I think around fall break, he decided he wanted to come home. He wanted to come back here. It's tough going to a school and growing up there for 10, 11 years, and then leaving your senior year. He's got all his families, all his friends are here. And we're happy to have him back, and he'll be a big addition to our team. And like you said, he's not just a good player for us. He's going to be one of the best players in the district. He got a lot of great experience last year, and although he's small, he plays harder probably than any other player I've ever coached, and he gets the most out of what he has. And he's added to his game, and he's always in the gym. Even that Zoom we had the other day, he was in the gym working, and I appreciate what he does and what he puts into the game outside of what we do together. Well, when you look at the loss of Cruz, Bryson's going to have to step up and score more this year, which is something that, he's not really been asked to do because he's such a good leader. He's a great
ball handler, can set up the offense for you, but you're going to have him step up and score the ball for you some this year.
Yeah, he got 11 points a game last year. So, our goal for him is to hopefully get to that 17, 18 range. But it shouldn't be a guy who's taking a ton of shots to get there. He shoots it pretty well from three. He made, about 43s last year. So if we can get that number up to about 50, and if he's able to get to the line a little bit more, he does a really good job of finishing down low despite his height. And, just his ability to get to the lane is able to create shots for other people. We have Ethan Bailey coming back too that made a bunch of threes last year for us. I think he was in the upper 40s. He is one of the school record, I think, for threes in a season. Not a guy who's really talked about, but he's been in the gym shooting a ton of shots every day too. And so I think his points are going to go up. I think he had 8 points a game last year, so we should probably get that up to 14 or 15. He makes a couple more shots a game. Nate was a guy who got us only 6 points a game last year, but I think he can do a lot of similar things that Cruz can as far as stretching the floor. And if he's being guarded by a 4 or a 5, he has the ability to get to the rim and finish. He plays real physical down low. He's not just a golfer. He has a little bit of ability on the basketball court too. So, I think his points are going to come up too. And, I think our supporting cast will help round it out to make sure we get to that 60, 65 point mark for us.
Well, those two guys were the two guys I was going to ask you about, because Ethan Bailey and Nate Fees, along with Bryson, your three key seniors that you're going to be bringing back. And it's not, when you play or you coach at a small school like a Model or like a Berea, or, I played at Jackson City, a smaller school like that as well. It's not very often where you have a lot of experience coming back, but you have that in those three guys.
Yeah, I was fortunate that they, had a situation last year where they were surrounded by some seniors that, that was just our guys we went with. We had those three guys and a couple seniors, and they got a lot of experience. And then this year we've got 7 seniors on the roster, and, 3 of them played a lot last year, and a couple of them kind of got their feet wet in the varsity. And, I look for them to see what that's like, hopefully in January. You didn't have summer ball, which, a lot of people don't think about, but summer ball really helps you just understand the speed of the game and the physicality, and helps guys get a little more confident and figure out, what they need to work on. And I think that's a loss that a lot of programs are going to experience. But, some of those guys in January, they're going to have to learn fast. Even though they're seniors, they got to get adjusted to the speed of the game. And, they may not get the same shots they had at the JV level, and they're going to be guarded by some guys who can play some defense. So I think that's going to be a real test for us, that extra depth.
Yeah, when you look at let's look at Madison Central, for example. They bring back pretty much everybody. So for them not to have an off season, then it's not going to be, I don't think, as difficult for them to kind of just get back in the swing of things. But you look at what you have to replace. Look at what Madison Southern, who lost, I think, 11 seniors, has to replace, and Berea with a new head coach. So the other 3 teams in this district have quite a bit to replace. So I feel like not having summer ball, or even not having to be in the gym for a couple of weeks before you start playing games, is going to be a lot more difficult for you, Southern and Berea, because of what you lost off last year's team.
Yeah, that's a great point. And, we'll get to find out pretty early whether, the experience with Southern, they lost some good players, but I know they had some good players coming up in their program that I'm sure Coach Newton's excited about. But it's all about opportunity. And I think, Berea, they have their best, 2 players back, and the guys around them are getting more opportunity to play under a new coach, and be interested to see what they're like. But like you said, Madison Central should be, they should be a really strong team. And, we get a chance to play them this year in February, which will give us an idea of what we're like heading into district. And, I'm excited that we get to go over to their place and play them. I wish we had taken care of business last year in the district and had a shot at them, because I felt like, we could have matched up and at least play some defense and made it tough for them to score. But they were a really good team, and I expect them to be, one of the top teams in the region this year.
Yeah, what's it been like as a head coach trying to schedule games during this pandemic, and after you had to kind of reshuffle the first month of your season?
Yeah, that's scheduling stuff. That's a lot of work. You try to get it all done in April and May so you don't have to worry about it, but you're constantly getting emails in the summer about teams looking for games. And I'm one of those people that likes to get it done early so I don't have to think too much. But then, then your season gets pushed back, and then kind of December gets washed away, and you get 2 weeks at it at the end. So we were able to take a couple of those games that we were going to play in December and just put them to the end of our season. And we added, 5 games there. So our schedule has 23 games right now. If we get to play 20 of those, I'll be happy. If we get to play 15, that'll be great. we're just trying to schedule as much as we can on that schedule that, until we have some wiggle room. KHSA guidelines tell us to try to play about 3 a week. So we're trying to stick with that. And, we want our guys to play because they got to learn. And if they're not getting these experience in games, then we're not going to be ready for the end of the year. So we're doing our best to make sure that schedule's ready.
A lot of coaches like to set goals before the season. Have you guys done that? What's a realistic goal for Model this year?
Yeah, I think our last practice in November, I think that I told the guys, all right, when we get together on Saturday, then we're going to set our goals for this week, because we were getting ready to play on that Tuesday. It's about a week away. So I felt like, that amount of time, we kind of figured out who we were and what we could do. And then we got shut down. So we haven't sat down as a team to make our goals. That's going to be something, I'll sit down with our seniors and we'll figure out, coming off a 10-win season last year, I thought there were at least 13, 14 wins out there. We lost a couple close ones. One point we had 3 games where we had the ball with a shot to tie it or win it, where we came up short. So it was a tough schedule. December was really tough on us last year. So maybe it'll help us out this year. We don't have December. I don't know. Maybe it'll bring us some good luck. But, I think our goals are, to get a 500 record is probably achievable for us. Playing 23 games, you're looking at trying to get a winning record, trying to win 12, 13, 14 games. We're playing everybody in the district. We play 5 or 6 other games in the region. I go to West Jessamine one of those nights. That's a team that went to Rupp last year, and they're going to be really good. That's probably, that's one of the better teams on our schedule, along with Madison Central. And so our guys will get opportunities to play against some good players, and that's good exposure for them and good experience. And we'll sit down individually and talk about their goals for the year as well.
Well, Coach, before we let you go, I know, right now is a time where people are, teams are trying to scramble and get money taken in, have some late fundraisers maybe. Is there anything going on with Model that folks can get involved in?
We haven't been doing much fundraising just because we had a golf scramble. We were able to do that, fortunately, before, it got cold. We had a great day for that on a Wednesday, and Arlington was able to host us, and such a great golf course there. I think we had about 10 teams come out there, and we were able to raise some money there. Unfortunately with this season, you don't even know, how many games you're going to be playing, how much you're going to be traveling. So our account's sitting good right now. I'm not worried too much about it. The support we'll need is when the season starts, just, following us and cheering on our guys and, watching online or watching the streams. And, I think it's really important for our high school athletes just to know that people are watching, whether it's on Prep Spin or with you guys, or, just to know that just because they're not in the stands, that people are still supporting them, and whether it's past alumni or just people in the community. And we appreciate coverage you guys give. And, we just want to get those guys out there and let them know that people are watching, even if the stands aren't full.
Well, I feel like this year, whatever we're capable of doing or going to be able to do, it's just going to be more important, not only for the kids, but, if the pandemic is still going on, and it looks like it's never going to go away, the grandparents can't come out and watch. The parents might not even be able to come out and watch. So, for health reasons, and then for the fact that you don't want, a lot of people there in the gym, and, Model's gym size, not the biggest. So I know you have some games at EKU this year. Was that a thought maybe of just trying to kind of open it up a little bit and let you have some more fans in there?
Yeah, we had already planned that game with Southern, so we were fortunate. I think it's still at EKU as far as I know. I think they're waiting on their volleyball schedule, because volleyball kind of got pushed from fall to the spring, but I think that date is still open. Their basketball teams are playing double headers, women's, men's back-to-back, so that helped us too, having a date there. But their players are spending a lot of time in the gym, so it's not like they have a ton of availability for us. I think our gym is right now, we can hold 72 according to the mandates, and so you're looking at 2 people per player and 25 tickets for the opposing team. So hopefully it's not going to affect our guys much, because we're used to being in a small crowd and going to bigger gyms and seeing crowds there. But I think we're going to be used to it. If you watch Kentucky the other night, it looked like they didn't get much energy and they didn't have much fight just because nobody was watching. And I hope our guys are encouraging each other from the bench. And you see that last night in the Baylor game, they were going crazy over there. It's like, it's the only energy in the building. You have to create it yourself. So we've talked to our guys, make sure you're encouraging your teammates. You got to be vocal. You got to be loud. You have to be the voice that's in the gym, because otherwise it's going to be quiet and it's going to feel dead. And that's going to be like a Saturday noon varsity game when you're traveling an hour and a half away and you don't have any energy. But, last year we had one of those games, and I thought we were completely dead, and we played our best game of the year and won by 25 points. So, it's not always about the environment as long as you can bring something and be ready to play.
Well, Coach, I appreciate the time. I hope that at some point this year you can have fans in the stands and that you guys can get the environment like you had in that Berea game last year. That game was so much fun to be a part of. So hopefully at some point this year, you and your team can experience that same kind of environment. And we look forward to covering you all once again this year. Your second season as the head coach. Good luck. And hopefully we can get through this season and experience a lot of success for you and the Patriots.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. We appreciate it, and hopefully we'll see you at some of those games. And good luck to all the teams in the area, and hope everybody stays safe. And I just hope we get to play on January 5th. That's what my fingers are crossed.
Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Good luck to Model this year, folks. We'll take another commercial break and come back. We are live on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Jennifer. And in the spring of 1992, Bishop Small Engine Repair was born in our mom and dad's barn in Estill County.
Then in the fall of 1992, we made the move to Madison County, where we are today. With the support of our family, customers, and community, we have continued to grow in the outdoor power industry. With the full line of products from Kokudet, Grasshopper, Echo, and Shindawa, we can help you tackle your yard so you can enjoy it with your family. Bishop Small Engine Repair, where our focus is our customer. Stop on in, 119 North Estill Avenue in Richmond. We can't wait to see ya.
Still lots of room, just more to view. Still the big move, just more moving. Still singing, just more in tune. Still hard to find a spot, just easier to park. Still the gang's all here, just less are we there yet. The Chevy family of SUVs, making life's journey just better.
Get the money you need now. Apply for a home equity line of credit at Cumberland Valley National Bank today, with no payments for 6 months and low rates. There's never been a better time to tap into your home's equity.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best margaritas and fajitas in town. Doesn't a huge 32-ounce ice-cold beer sound great? Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Get the money you need now. Apply for a home equity line of credit at Cumberland Valley National Bank today, with no payments for 6 months and low rates. There's never been a better time to tap into your home's equity.
Campus Warehouse is fresh out of quarantine and has everything you need to get back in the game. Now more than ever, it's important to show support for your favorite team. And Campus Warehouse has stylish Eastern Kentucky merchandise or something for the Kentucky fan in your life. As we continue to fight the coronavirus pandemic, Campus Warehouse also has the clothes you need to show you're a part of Team Kentucky. Like them on Facebook or stop in and see for yourself at Campus Warehouse, 2139 Lantern Ridge Drive, next to Buffalo Wild Wings in Richmond.
Talking model girls basketball now with Coach Candace Wells. And Coach, amazing season last year. And we kind of continued that roller coaster ride of what the seasons have looked like for you in your now 6 years, right?
Yep.
So, I mean, when you look at the team you had last year, it was young, but it was really competitive. A lot of games that you won, 19-11, I believe, was your record last season. And now you're entering this season with a more experienced team, bringing every single player back that was on the roster last year.
Yeah, we're really excited. We actually did lose one player to a transfer. We lost Summer Rae, which we're super sad about, but we brought pretty much everybody else back. So we did have a super young team, and to add to that, toward the end of the season, right when we needed everyone at their best, we had a bunch of players go down with injuries and concussions and things that really hindered us and hindered our practice, I think, in those last few weeks. So we're looking forward to not having injuries. And then that depth hopefully will be there a little more this year, where we had such young players last year. Like most teams don't rely on their, freshmen and sophomores to just really produce for them. And so when we got to our lineup and we're like into players 9 and 10 deep for our district game, that was hard for us. But I think a lot of those players have put in work, and it'll be even better this time.
Two players that you bring back are Keaton Hall and McKenna Tuttle. Keaton Hall, in my opinion, one of the most athletic players in the 11th region. And Tuttle, a really good point guard, can handle the ball. She's a good leader going into her senior season, so you would expect a lot from her going into this year. What are you expecting from Keaton and McKenna as far as this season goes?
Oh, gosh. Well, there's a few things. I'm glad you mentioned those two. McKenna is just one of those players that, just makes us go. And everyone who watches her play likes to watch her play because she just goes fast and she directs the team. And her and Keaton really started clicking toward the end of the season. They had several 20-plus point games there in that last stretch where they really were on. And then those two together were part of the soccer team winning the district championship. They were I don't know very much about soccer, but I was there, and I know McKenna's in the goal and Keaton's right in front of her, and they were communicating and talking the whole time to all their teammates. So I think that was big for them, just having that mindset and realizing something they've worked for is coming true. It came true in soccer. So I think that is huge for us chemistry-wise for those two to be on the same page. But Keaton has put in a tremendous amount of work in the off season. I think it's hard for me to verbalize just how good she's gotten. I appreciate that you called her one of the most athletic players, because I thought that. I think everyone who knows her knew that she had big upside, big potential. She actually started basketball later in life than a lot of people. She was like a gymnast as a kid. Started playing, I think, in 7th grade, 6th or 7th grade. She started playing. So she really, was years behind. And so now she's to the point where she's put in all this work to get better and better. And I had a conversation with her, with all my players, but especially with her at the beginning of the pandemic, and said, this is a time where we have to give ourselves grace, and not everything's going to be perfect. But if playing basketball in college is something you want to do and you want to win this district championship, this is a time where people like you who put in work on their own are going to shine. And she did that. She worked out 3 times a day, several days a week for months and months and months. She went six months just putting in crazy amount of work. And it's going to show. I think people are just, she was already good, but your jaw is going to be dropped, I think.
Yeah, and I think with Keaton, when you look at her, she can handle the ball. She can shoot a little bit. She can score. She's very aggressive, too. And I think what folks don't – if she can get that shot consistent, I just want to open up her game even more to where she can drive around teams, but they'll have to respect the shot a little bit more.
For sure. She had put in – and I'll give my assistant coaches are amazing. Landon New has worked a lot with McKenna on her just IQ, and you can tell that. And overall, just being a point guard, a true point guard, he really developed her. And then my assistant coach, Lee Cummings, has really been working with Keaton on her shot. And we started to see that come alive last year. She made, I think, 0 3-pointers her freshman season, and then went out and made, I think, maybe 1 or 2 per game her sophomore season, but shot 32, 33%. So she was hitting a fairly high amount of the shots that she took, but she wasn't always ready to shoot. And she did play travel ball over the summer. Like I said, she put in tons of work, and now she's getting to the point where she's ready to shoot at all times. And she's realized that's making her, like you said, it's so easy for her to drive in the lane. And we also worked a lot on just taking advantage of mismatches, because she is so athletic and strong that I think she can dominate inside. She's done some post moves with me. She's practicing finishing at the rim, finishing all those and ones, and making her free throws, and that's going to take her game to the next level. It's come so easy to her now because, like you said, they're going to have to respect her shot.
What's it been like being a coach during this pandemic? Because, especially right now, you're not able to get out there with your team after you had been working out with them and getting ready for the season. So, what's it like as a head coach, and what are you telling your players after, a few weeks of workouts and now just basically putting a pause on the season?
There's a couple different things. First, when this first started in March, of course, we were kind of just like, okay, everything's on hold. And then it got to the point in, almost May when I was like, okay, well, how long is this going to be on hold? Are we just going to be sitting around waiting and not getting any better? Or are we going to do something about it? So we actually had hours and hours and hours of Zoom practice.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people got on Zoom and just like did film review and things, and we've done some of that. But I got out of my garage every 4 days a week, 3 to 5 days a week, almost the whole summer, and we did workouts with weights, and then we did dribbling, and that's, I think, helping some of our players that, like I said, were on the bench last year come up a lot. And a lot of them really bought into that idea of just, we can't do everything right now. We're going to do what we can do. And then when we got back to practicing again, the skills that we normally would have done in the off season and the, weight training and things, we didn't feel like we lacked it as much as we would have if we took breaks, like I think a lot of teams did. So we're kind of taking that same mindset right now. Like we were on Zoom yesterday working out. So we're just trying to take advantage of that and use this time to work on our weaknesses and stay in shape, because that's the thing I'm really worried about. Obviously, injuries have been a problem for us. We've been doing all this stuff and then we take a break, kind of messes with your programming. So we're just trying to not, we don't want to go back in when we're allowed to practice again and get injured because we're going so hard. So we're just trying to stay in shape and stay positive and do what we can. And that's, we've always been in a deficit. So we've said, our program was not good. So it's no new thing for us to face something difficult.
Well, let's talk about that. So your program, you talked about, kind of the upswing that you've been on, especially last year. What can you tell, or what do you tell your team to keep their confidence up? Because I know, listen, I played at a smaller school myself. I know you've been there before. Whenever you're a smaller school, going to play against a Madison Central or a Madison Southern or one of those teams in Lexington, what do you say to them to be like, okay, we've got to be ready to play. We can't come out and lose this game because we know they're a bigger school or they're a bigger team. We can't come out with that mindset. What do you tell them to kind of fix that before you even get off the bus and the game's already over with?
Well, a couple of years ago, I remember we lost in districts, I think Central, and one of my assistant coaches said to the girls, we had to play a perfect game to beat them, and we didn't. We played a much less than perfect game to beat them, and that's just your motivation for the off season, your motivation for practice every day. So something we really have just tried to focus on is, I hate to say the cliche, like trust the process, but just putting in work and competing every day. And I think they've started to see the results of that. So we've had these kids, like you said, they're young, but now they're getting older. It's kind of a nice full circle moment to be at our best with the kids who have stuck through so much with us. And we told them from day one, you have to 100% trust us as coaches to be making the right decisions and to be making the choices for you. And you all have to be on the same page. And if you do that, then we will win. And I think now I don't have to tell them that we can compete with people. They just know it because they've seen how much better we've gotten and they watch film. We actually, at one of our practices a couple weeks ago, whenever we were practicing, we watched film of our same group of girls probably 4 years ago, I guess. Yeah, it would have been McKenna's freshman year. And they were like dying laughing because they said, I remember we were bad, but I didn't realize we were that bad. So it honestly was a really great way to just appreciate how far we've come. And that was motivational for us to see, if you just show up every day and you try and you listen, how much better you get. So I don't have to tell them that much anymore. And I think honestly that the soccer team winning districts was huge because we do have a few girls that play on the soccer team. And the other girls were there watching or they heard about it. And I think just knowing if what you have together as a team is really special and you have good relationships and you try really hard for each other, and you play smarter and you put in the work, then you can beat anybody.
You got to have confidence. I mean, that's a big part of succeeding. And we know when you look at this district as a landscape, Madison Central loses their two best players. So they're going to be really young this year. Madison Southern returns everybody almost, but they have a new coach, so some changes being made there. And then you look over at Berea, they're kind of in the same boat as you all, as one of those smaller schools, and you were right there with them last year competing for that All-A Classic. Y'all played in the regular season. I think it was a 5-point game there. So you're right there with them. So I think this district this year, especially on the girls' side, is wide open. And if you can get some of those younger players, which I want to talk about here in just a moment, to kind of step their games up, then I think you have a chance to win this district.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I mean, the fact that anyone could even say that is huge for us. I think just knowing that other people have said that, I think for the girls even is huge because, like I said, we've known from day one, if you put in the work, the results will come. But the girls had to see that over time, and now other people are starting to notice, and I think that means a lot. And I think it means a lot that last year, I don't know who was it that ranked our preseason, district rankings, but Madison Central was number 4.
Yeah.
And then they came back and won. So it really just shows like everyone's right there. And we can do that. And I think, again, the soccer team, I think really just set the tone for what this school year is going to look like for sports. We're hungry for that. I don't know. I think our last district championship, I don't even remember the exact date, but it's up on our wall in the gym. It's like 1977 or something. So
been a while.
Been pointing at that every once in a while. And just remember, like we want 2021 up there.
Well, let's look at some of your players that's going to be more of your role players, and those are very important. You look at Kenzie Ferguson, who had a great year last year, almost a little bit over 8 points a game. Taylor LeCompte, she was a really good player for you as well last year, kind of playing inside. So let's talk about some of your players, and I'm assuming with losing Summer Rae, Avery Tuttle might step into a bigger role for the team as well.
Yeah, so Ferg has been, a lot of people remember Ferg. She can hit 5 threes a game, and then she might be streaky and not hit a few. So she put in some work on her ball handling and has been really working on her shot, just being consistent. Confidence is a big thing for her too. And she always does all the little things. And that is why she will always get so much playing time, because if you watch her during a game, like I tell people on the bench, watch her because she hustles. She will get on the floor. There was one game where she dove on the floor and somebody bumped her on the way down or something. She literally crawled halfway across the gym floor to try to get to the ball. She boxes out every single play. She sprints consistently. She comes over to the bench dying. So she provides that energy. Taylor, honestly, has been practicing better than she ever has in her whole life. My jaw has dropped every day almost. She's just been consistently performing in practice to the point where every single player, us coaches, we've all just commented on how great she's been. So I'm hoping that she brings that same intensity to games, because I know it is a little different. She's the tallest person on our team in practice, but she's been using her body well and finishing strong. And in the past, sometimes she would stray away from that. And Taylor has great hands. I know there's a clip in the district game where she had to like jump up and she caught it all funky and then still finished at the basket. She has really good hands, and when she's really locked in, she's a smart player. So just getting her aggressive and doing that consistently and feeding her the ball when she's hot, I think will be huge, because she had a great game last year in our All-A. She was huge, had a big double-double. So she can definitely perform when she's locked in, and she's been super locked in. I've been really proud of her. And then, like you said, Avery's been working. She's been working out. Avery's a great listener too, and that always pays off for kids as they get older. Alyssa Hudson was on every single Zoom with me this summer working out. She's made a huge transformation. I've literally never seen a player get like 5 seconds faster in a down and back like she did in the past couple months. Like it's insane. Her transformation is huge. And Megan Perkins, that grade level as a whole has been doing just a good job listening and putting in work, and they really put their trust in the coaches. And so I think that is going to help their development a lot. Megan got a lot more playing time toward the end of the season. She plays good defense. She hustles, and she has a beautiful shot if you watch her shoot ever. So we're just trying to get her to embrace that and go for it, because she started to come alive at the end of last season. So we have high expectations for those two for sure.
Well, Coach, I can tell listening to you, you are very, very excited about this team. And I am too. Listen, I'm excited. I love to see the smaller schools succeed. Being, again, as I played at one. And you're going to have an early test early on. So you got Bluegrass United to begin the season on December 1st. Then you'll play Madison Central at home on January the 4th. Now, is your schedule pretty much set, or are you still going to be adding some games as you try to get through this season?
As everybody's schedule, it's just a wreck. I think our first game is I could be wrong because it's changed 50 times. It's going to be against Madison Central. That's what we want.
That's right, January 4th, Central. Okay, I see that now,
We had planned to play them November 23rd, and honestly, that was the greatest motivation, because every single day we came in and we knew we had a chance to upset a huge school, and there's no expectation, right? If you go in and you lose to Madison Central, okay, they have a billion more kids than us. But for us, it hurts when we lose to them, and we're tired of getting beat by them. So we know they lost their two, best players, who I think weren't just the two best players. They were almost the whole team last year. They really did a lot, not even just scoring wise, just running the floor, and with their attitude, you could tell they were competing all the time. So I think that would have been a good test for us to go up against another school and see, how far we've come since the last time we faced a Madison Central team. So we were excited about that. That got us through every day. So we, thankfully, Coach Lovely and I worked it out. That's still going to be our first game. And I think that gives us motivation, right, to keep putting in that work right now when we're off and then when we come back.
Well, Coach, I appreciate the time. Model and Madison Central on January the 4th. I'm going to go ahead and say we're going to be there for that one. If we can get it worked out with you, cover that opening game, that'll be our first game of the year. So be excited to kind of get my feet wet and get some basketball on the airwaves. And we appreciate your time today. Good luck to Model this season, and look forward to covering you and the Lady Patriots.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Jennifer. And in the spring of 1992, Bishop Small Engine Repair was born in our mom and dad's barn in Estill County.
Then in the fall of 1992, we made the move to Madison County, where we are today. With the support of our family, customers, and community, we have continued to grow in the outdoor power industry. With the full line of products from Kopudet, Grasshopper, Echo, and Shindawa, we can help you tackle your yard so you can enjoy it with your family. Bishop Small Engine Repair, where our focus is our customer. Stop on in, 119 North Estill Avenue in Richmond. We can't wait to see ya.
Still lots of room, just more to view. Still the big move, just more moving. Still singing, just more in tune. Still hard to find a spot, just easier to park. Still the gang's all here, just less are we there yet. The Chevy family of SUVs, making life's journey just better.
Get the money you need now. Apply for a home equity line of credit at Cumberland Valley National Bank today. With no payments for 6 months and low rates, there's never been a better time to tap into your home's equity.
Patrick O'Neill has been serving Central and Eastern Kentucky since 1995. When someone is accused of something they didn't do, or when a good person makes a mistake, they need the best representation they can find. And that's Patrick O'Neill. Whether it's criminal defense, Social Security, disability, personal injury, workers' compensation, or deeds and wills, when you need legal advice, trust the expertise of Patrick O'Neill. He will get you the money you deserve. His office is located in Jackson, but Patrick practices all over Central and Eastern Kentucky. For more information or for a free consultation, call 606-666-2990.
Who makes the best meal in Richmond? Nuevo Vallarta. Friendly service, a place that's good for kids and good for groups. Head to Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond. Nuevo Vallarta is known for warm hospitality, great prices, great food, and the best margaritas and fajitas in town. Doesn't a huge 32-ounce ice-cold beer sound great? Start with an appetizer, order a la carte, or choose from their huge menu of Mexican favorites for grown-ups and kids. Nuevo Vallarta on Big Hill Avenue in Richmond.
Get the money you need now. Apply for a home equity line of credit at Cumberland Valley National Bank today. With no payments for 6 months and low rates, there's never been a better time to tap into your home's equity.
Campus Warehouse is fresh out of quarantine and has everything you need to get back in the game. Now more than ever, it's important to show support for your favorite team. And Campus Warehouse has stylish Eastern Kentucky merchandise or something for the Kentucky fan in your life. As we continue to fight the coronavirus pandemic, Campus Warehouse also has the clothes you need to show you're a part of Team Kentucky. Like them on Facebook or stop in and see for yourself at Campus Warehouse, 2139 Lantern Ridge Drive, next to Buffalo Wild Wings in Richmond.
We appreciate you being here with us, folks, on a Monday night on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show. Also, one of our great sponsors, Campus Warehouse, behind me as well. And if you see some of these sponsors, if you're out and about, stop by and tell them thank you. Listen, we love covering these local athletes and the local coaches that we have here in Madison and other surrounding counties. We could not do it without our great sponsors. Jack Burford Chevrolet, listen, it's a great time right now. Take advantage of these year-end deals going on at Jack Burford Chevrolet. You can go over there and check out their entire inventory, or you can visit their website, jackburford.com, to see everything that they have available. And John and that staff will take great care of you over there as well. Campus Warehouse over there by Buffalo Wild Wings in the Richmond Center. Campus Warehouse has got some awesome deals if you're looking for some holiday shirts, My wife and I were over there this week with their kids. They had a great Grinch event. You can see the Grinch behind me, but they had the Grinch over there taking socially distanced pictures with the kiddos. You can get on over there to Campus Warehouse. They have a website now as well, or like them on Facebook. But they've got, if you're an EKU fan or you know somebody that's an EKU fan, some great Christmas deals over there for EKU fans, Kentucky fans. They've got some great deals over there for you as well, although right now it's really hard to be a Kentucky fan with the way their season has started on the basketball court. But they've also, again, they had some cool Christmas shirts. I saw one that was my favorite. It was a Friends shirt, like the TV show Friends, but it had the Grinch on there, Home Alone, the Home Alone character, Macaulay Culkin. They had I think the Santa Claus character. So just different characters to kind of coincide with the show Friends and the Christmas holiday. So all kinds of cool stuff over there at Campus Warehouse in Richmond. And we've also got some other great sponsors, Nuevo Vallarta, Bishop Small Engine Repair. We know how important they've been to us during this pandemic. And the law office of Patrick O'Neill. All those great sponsors help us provide coverage for these local kids each Monday night as part of our sports show, which is headlined by Jack Burford Chevrolet. Folks, we hope you have a great holiday season. Again, for the rest of the month of December, we're going to be previewing the upcoming basketball season. We won't be doing a schedule release this year just because of the COVID times. We are going to get to as many games as we can and provide the coverage that we have been doing all year long with football and everything else, and try to give these kids a chance to be seen, be heard, and be watched. And hopefully maybe by the time the district tournament rolls around, we've got we get the vaccines here and we're all ready to roll, and we can get out there and cheer on these kids and celebrate being back in the sports world. For all of us, we appreciate you being with us here on a Monday night. Our radio producer is Jaden Johnson. Our video TV side producer tonight is Gage Hill. I am Michael Watkins. Samantha Burford will be joining us very soon in the coming weeks as well as we celebrate the Christmas season. We hope you and your family have a great holiday year, a holiday season. You stay safe, and we'll be continuing to provide that local sports coverage as we head throughout the year, wrap up 2020, and get ready for basketball in 2021. Thanks for being with us, folks. We'll see you next Monday on the Jack Burford Chevrolet Sports Show.